Hi guys, this is Taylor and I'm here with another big book haul. The good news is the library book sale is over, so there shouldn't be another big book haul for a while, God allowing. So once again I'm going to separate out all the books into exactly where I got them. So the first pile and the biggest pile is going to be from the library book sale. The very first book is going to be this tiny little edition of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. It's got the gold leaf on the side. I've never read any Dickens. I think this might be a good start. Might read it around Christmas, you know? Next I have We by... I've been looking for a copy of this for a while. I believe it's a dystopian novel that predates Brave New World, a lot of the bigger dystopian novels. I think that in terms of dystopia, the earlier on that you get, kind of the more original that the ideas are. So I think this will be pretty cool. Next I have Balzac and the Little Chinese Seamstress. I've seen this around everywhere for a long time. I believe Vitka from One Book, One Review recently read this and liked it, so I figured I'd give it a shot. It's pretty small. Next I have a copy of Holes, which I have never owned a copy of and never read, which I hope to rectify very soon. I love the movie just as much as my mom hates it. The next two I'm pretty psyched about. I have two anthologies of nonfiction writing about the Antarctic and the Arctic. I'm a little obsessed with cold places and the literature surrounding them. So this will be pretty neat. Next I have a copy of The Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey Eugenides. I now own all of his works. I've only read Middlesex, but I really liked it, so I'm pretty happy for this. Next I have Reading Lolita in Tehran by Azar Nafisi. Jen Campbell recently talked about her newer book, which I believe is called The Republic of Imagination, and it sounded incredible. So I'm hoping to get to this memoir soon. I believe it's about her experiences kind of reading banned books in Tehran, so that sounds really rad. I should probably read Lolita first though, huh? Next I have Geisha, A Life by Mimico Iwasaki. I decided to pick this up in place of Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden. This is the real memoir of the woman that he interviewed to write that book, but it's the actual story. It's not embellished, it's not written by a white dude trying to capitalize off of Japanese women. Next, I was super excited to find a copy of Alias Hook by Lisa Jensen. This cover. I believe this is a Peter Pan retelling, but I don't know anything other than that because I was so mesmerized by the cover. Next I picked up Girl Boss by Sophia Amoruso. I saw this around and I didn't think it was for me until I realized that Sophia Amoruso is the CEO of Nasty Gal, which is a clothing website, by the way, putting it out there. And this is kind of like a hybrid memoir, tips about being a woman in business, I believe. Next I have Louise Erdrich's The Roundhouse. This won a lot of awards a couple years ago, and I was kind of interested in it, but when I found out that it centers on a Native American woman, I was definitely more drawn to pick it up. I think Native American voices are incredibly vital to American literature and an underrepresented demographic, so I think it's very important. If you've noticed that the books seem to be getting bigger, you are not wrong. Currently on a stack from smallest to biggest. Therefore next I have J.K. Rowling's The Casual Vacancy, which I was very excited to get a pristine copy of. Almost pristine. Next up I have The History of Love by Nicole Krauss. I'm not super drawn in by the premise of this book, but she was married to Jonathan Safran Foer, who wrote probably my favorite book, and I know that apparently they use a lot of the same literary devices, so hopefully I'll give this a shot as well. I also have Shaman by Kim Stanley Robinson. This has been on my radar for a while. It's supposed to be a novel of the Ice Age, but it's also tagged as sci-fi. I don't know if it's time travel, I don't know what's going on here. Kim Stanley Robinson is supposed to be, you know, a masterful sci-fi writer, so hopefully this will be a good gateway for a non-sci-fi reader like myself. And following the logic that the biggest book would be on the bottom of the pile, I of course have The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. I am so excited for this to sit on the bottom of my TBR pile for like 4 years. The next few books I got used off of the Amazon Marketplace, and first I have the next 4 books in the Royal Diary series. We have Sonduk, Princess of the Moon and Stars, Korea, 595 AD. Jahanara, Princess of Princesses, India, 1627. That one seems really cool. Eleanor, Crown Jewel of Aquitaine. I'm French. And Christina, the Girl King, Sweden, 1638. I also picked up the second novel in the Shades of London series by Maureen Johnson, so we have The Madness Underneath. This is a series that starts with The Name of the Star, which is YA about a girl who goes to a boarding school in London and figures out that she can see ghosts, which I read last year and enjoyed a lot more than I thought I was going to. And finally, I have The Ultimate Guide to Knife Throwing. I was not kidding in my intro when I said that I threw knives. This is a new release in the knife throwing community. It's supposed to be great for amateurs like myself, good for professional knife throwers. Do those people exist? And the last place that I acquired books from is actually the church down the street, who held like a flea market type thing, and I picked up a couple of things, including something really special, but you'll have to wait to the end for that. The first one I picked up from the flea market is A Moveable Feast by Ernest Hemingway. As you might recall from my August wrap-up, I read The Old Man and the Sea last month and liked it, but this is supposed to be the Hemingway you read if you're kind of unsure about Hemingway. I also found a really nice copy of Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. This chronicles a lot of the issues facing African Americans in the early 20th century, so I mean, like, you know it's gonna be good. And lastly, I picked up The Silkworm by Robert Galbraith, J.K. Rowling, and now I have completed the series just in time for the next book to come out. Next, I have some very special stuff. This was in the basement of the library being ignored, and I asked if I could have it, and they said yes. And it is a copy of essays by Ralph Waldo Emerson. The thing about this though, and I'll probably insert some extra footage so you can really get a good look at it, this appears to be very old and a very special edition. I'm not exactly sure how old it is. I couldn't pass it up, and I think I could give it a good home, or I could try to. And the last thing in this book haul was also acquired at the church flea market. These were in a section being sold completely separately from all of the other materials. This is a 3-book set of Dante's Divine Comedy, which you might know that I love. The thing about these though is that they were published in 1818 and they are in Italian. Now this was the last day of the flea market, and the woman that was selling these kind of cut me a deal on them. She said, and I don't know how true this is, she said that she has seen people selling these on eBay for around $2,000, but I paid $50 for them. So take from that what you will. I am so excited to add these to my collection. I don't know where I'm going to put them because they feel too special to go on my actual shelf, but you know, I'll do it. I can. I'll find a place for them. That concludes my September book haul. Again, there shouldn't be a big book haul like this for a while. I don't have any space to put these books, so I mean that should curb my book buying habits, in theory. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye!